Welcome to Upon Further Review for the San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to go over the stats and review them a little bit deeper and give our breakdown. We're also going to talk about what we think is going to happen in this game, make our prediction, and we have a little bit of Madden gameplay. We had some issues with the Madden gameplay, but I'm not going to get all into that. Let's just get into the stats, and we'll start off with the offense. Let's look at the yards per game. And for the Niners, they had 395 yards of offense last week, and the Steelers 464. And in terms of passing yards, 165 for San Francisco, 330 for Pittsburgh. And on the ground, the Niners had 230 yards, and for the Steelers, 134. In terms of points, the Niners put up 20, and the Steelers put up 21. Of course, that was good enough for a victory for San Francisco over Minnesota, whereas the Steelers, even though scoring one more point, they lost to New England on the first game of the year. But third down conversion percentage, 41.7 for San Francisco, 46.7 for Pittsburgh, as the Niners converted 5 of 12 on third down, and the Pittsburgh Steelers converted 7 of 15. And in time of possession, the Niners had the ball for 33 minutes and 2 seconds in their win, and the Steelers had the ball for 32 minutes and 5 seconds in their loss. So when we look at defense and yards allowed, the Niners allowed 248 yards, the Steelers allowed 361. In terms of passing yards, the Niners led up 177, and the Steelers 281. Then we look at rushing yards. The Niners allowed 71, and the Steelers 80. And then points per game, the Niners allowed just 3 points per game, although in their one game, against the Vikings, and the Steelers led up 28 against the defending Super Bowl champion Patriots. Then we look at third down conversion percentage. The Niners were incredible on third down, as they only allowed 11% of third downs to be converted against them, whereas on the other side, the Steelers, they allowed 7 of 11 to be converted against them. It's just one third down conversion against the Niners. So the Minnesota only had 1 for 9, whereas for the Patriots, they were 7-11 against the Steelers on third down. So the Steelers, they were doing pretty good on the offensive side of the ball, but they were struggling on the defensive side of the ball, especially on third downs. The Niners were looking dominant in that game on Monday night against Minnesota, especially up front in the trenches and in the running game. They weren't really passing the ball too much, though. That was the thing, is their running game looked real strong. Their offensive line looked really tough. They had a lot of tight ends out there blocking as well. They're using some good, strong run formations. Their defense looked solid. They looked strong, but they were eating up, a weak offensive line in Minnesota, as they looked just rough and not in the good way. And the Steelers, actually, they struggled coming out the gates against the Patriots. Well, in the beginning of the game, they were looking good, but they struggled in terms of overall, coming out in week 1 and getting that L. Of course, they did put up 21 points, and, Roethlisberger was actually looking pretty good. He had some pretty good numbers. They weren't able to get any turnovers, though, although they did get after, the quarterback a little bit. But, I thought the Steelers' defense, as much as they were struggling, especially in terms of covering Gronk, you got to think Gronk is the best tight end in football. I mean, who's not going to struggle to cover that guy? I actually thought that the Steelers' defense looked good in the loss, in terms of they looked like they were, as the game was progressing too, like they were getting better. I also thought that they showed a lot of promise. I mean, this is a defense that has lost a couple of veterans, and I actually thought that, they looked pretty good, and that they looked like they were a defense that was going to get better, and that, they're young, and they just need a few games, and I think that this game right here, they'll start to show a little bit better, tougher defense, especially at home. I think that, being that they're not going to have to worry so much about the passing attack, they just got to worry about shutting down the run. And they've got some good linebackers there in Pittsburgh. They've always had good linebacker play. and they're pretty strong up front. I think that they can actually, shut down this running game somewhat. I don't think Carlos Hyde's necessarily going to have as big a performance anyway. He might still, even get the century mark, but I don't think he's going to come out the gates the way he did in Minnesota, against Minnesota on Monday Night Football. So we'll see how that goes. Also, I think that Roethlisberger should have more success against the Niners defense. I think Antonio Brown probably have a good game. D'Angelo Williams looked pretty strong against the Patriots. I think he'll be able to run the ball against Pittsburgh. I got a gigantic bug flying around me right now. I'm like, oh man, is this thing going to land on me? I'm like, got something in my hands to swat it, but it is huge. But anyway, that has nothing to do with football, so I think I'm just going to wrap this up. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. What do you think? Oh, shit. What do you think the Steelers and the Niners are going to win? Like I said, I'm going with Pittsburgh at home in this game. I was really surprised by the Niners in week 1. I thought they looked really good, so it'll be interesting to see against a team of Pittsburgh's caliber how it goes down. Like I said, let me know in the comments section. Thank you very much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and have a great weekend. And I hope no bugs come after you like this one are flying around me right now. And enjoy all the sports. Holy shit, that thing is fucking... Wow, shit, man. Holy shit.